Now, if you're familiar with that all-day service and dinner on the ground kind of approach, old-fashioned. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 6 o'clock, time for us to begin our meeting. And let me say to those who have come in the audience, if you'd like a copy of the agenda, there are copies there in the little pocket that's up on the front rail. And we welcome you to the meeting. Happy to have the pastor of St. Thomas Lutheran Church, my friend, Mary Metzger, who's going to give the invocation.
Please join me in prayer. Sovereign God, we give you thanks for this day, for the city of Richmond, and for the people who live and work here. Lord, bless this meeting. By your wisdom, guide our leaders as they make decisions that affect the lives of all citizens. Help them to work together with compassion and understanding, and to always act with integrity and justice. May their decisions promote the well-being of our community and bring honor to your most holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Mary. Honored to have a local U.S. Armed Forces veteran with us to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. We're pleased to welcome Mr. Alan Mayfield. Mr. Mayfield is currently the Sergeant at Arms for American Legion Post 12 in Richmond, Kentucky. Served 26 years of active service, 36 years of total service. Part of his service was in the Air Force and part in the Kentucky Army National Guard as both a traditional soldier and active duty, from which he retired as First Sergeant. Mr. Mayfield has served in various statewide and overseas tours, in addition to combat tours during the Gulf War in 1990-1991. 2 tours in Iraq in 2006 and 7 and 2011. He has received multiple awards that include 2 Bronze Star Medals, 2 Meritorious Service Medals, 2 Kentucky Distinguished Service Medals, and the Combat Infantryman Badge, along with other Army and Air Force awards. Mr. Mayfield, thank you for your service to our country and for leading our pledge this evening. Please proceed.
Everyone please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for your service. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Newby.
Here.
Commissioner Brewer.
Here.
Commissioner Cole.
Here.
Commissioner Goebel.
Here.
Mayor Blythe.
Here, thank you. We have our minutes in our packets for this meeting, and they come from the regular meeting that was July 8, the 6 p.m. meeting, and the workshop meeting held July 17 at noon. If you've had a chance to look at those and are ready to act on them, maybe have a motion, please, that will accept them as presented.
I move.
Commissioner Newby,
Second.
Commissioner Goebel. Is there any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer.
Yes.
Commissioner Cole.
Yes.
Commissioner Goebel.
Yes.
Commissioner Newby.
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Ordinance 25-20, an ordinance of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, amending the city purchasing policy to bring it into conformity with a revision to the Kentucky statutes. This is a second reading. We will vote tonight. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the city has enacted a purchasing policy, a policy which has been amended from time to time since its enactment, and as a result of enactment of statutory law governing purchasing by the Kentucky municipality, the Board of Commissioners finds it necessary to again amend that policy as set forth in full below. Now therefore be it ordained that Section 2 in the procurement procedures, that item number 3, all purchases of the value, striking out 30,000, and now inserting exceeding the threshold set by KRS 424.260 or KRS 45A shall be made through formal bidding procedures as provided by KRS 424.260. Also on item number 4, purchasing the value of, striking out 20,000, 30,000, it will now be $1,000 or less of threshold set by KRS also. In section 4, it also outlines where we're amending the 30,000 again. Purchases and supplies, equipment and services less than, and it'll also be the threshold now for the KRS. And then also purchase orders will be at the threshold of $1,000. In an emergency situation, the city manager shall certify that the emergency exists, and a copy of the certification shall be filed with the city clerk for the purchase under B, C, and D above. The city manager shall proceed to negotiate with one or more suppliers in order to obtain most advantageous terms of the city. And again, the purchases of 30,000 is eliminated, and we go to the KRS. This order shall take immediately upon action on second reading and publication in accordance with the requirements of applicable Kentucky law.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The first reading was held on July 8, and this is our second reading. May we have a motion, please, that will bring this ordinance 25-20 to the floor for approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Brewer
Second.
and Commissioner Newby. Is there any discussion? Anything, Mr. City Manager, you want to add?
No, Mayor, board members, I would just say this puts us in line with other cities our size for small purchase authority.
All right.
When's the last time we did this? 2 years ago?
I was going to say, it hasn't been a long time.
Yeah.
I want to say 4 years ago, we went from 20 to 30, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. It was about
That's
4
what-
years
yeah.
ago. Yep.
Seemed like sooner. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Order 25-109, an order of the City of Richmond hiring an employee for the Public Works Department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the Public Works Department needs an additional equipment operator 1, and whereas the position was advertised and interviews conducted, and whereas the interview committee has recommended a hire for the position, now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that, 1, the following individual is hired contingent upon his successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements as equipment operator 1 for the Public Works Department. Pay grade 2, effective July 28th. Jason McKenzie. He is an at-will employee and will serve a 1-year probationary period. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 25-109. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Cole,
Second.
Commissioner Goble. Is there any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby.
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole.
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Order 25-110, order of the City of Richmond promoting an employee for the Public Works Department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the Public Works Department has restructured the department to include different work crews such as roads, sidewalks, and tree limb collection crews, and whereas the department is in need of an additional leadership moving forward, and whereas the position was advertised and interviews conducted, and whereas the city manager has recommended the promotion of this employee, now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following employee in the Public Works Department is hereby promoted to foreman, effective payroll date August 8th, pay grade 5. Adam Nolan, his original hire date was in February of 2024. This order shall be effective immediately upon passage by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 25-110. May we have a motion, please? Bring the floor for discussion and approval.
So moved.
Commissioner Cole
Second.
and Commissioner Newby. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I think that's still, Josh, does that put us one short still? One short in the road departments.
General staffing?
Yeah.
Question, Mr. City Manager, and perhaps Josh, is this a level of management? You know, we've talked about this over the past several years. Is this a level of management for which there should be or will be some kind of management training?
There will be, and it is a level of management. Basically, it's what we call a foreman or a superintendent position. I guess it was about 2 years ago, we promoted an individual internally to that position, and it really helps offload Josh running all over the city, managing crews. So you have this foreman position or superintendent position that oversees sometimes 2 or 3 crews. Promoting this individual will help us with operating, if I'm not mistaken, 2 concrete crews, Josh? Yeah. So it helps Josh tremendously when he's got 2 foremans helping him manage different groups.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 25-111, an order of the City of Richmond transferring and changing status of an employee from the Battlefield to Parks Department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the Parks Department workload continues to increase, the department is in need of additional staff in order to maintain services. And whereas a current city employee has requested a transfer and qualified for the position, and whereas the city manager has recommended the transfer of this current employee for that position, now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that Paul Miller is laterally transferred from Battlefield to Parks Department as laborer effective payroll date July 25th, pay grade 2. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 25-111. May we have a motion, please, to bring the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Brewer, Commissioner Newby. Is there any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 25-112, order of the City of Richmond appointing a new member to the Golf Committee. Madam Clerk,
Whereas there's a
please.
vacancy also on the golf committee, and whereas the citizen that has displayed an interest in serving and has made a commitment to attend all meetings, now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that Brooke Fritz be appointed to the Richmond Golf Committee for the remaining term expiring May 14th, 2027. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 25-112. May we have a motion, please, bring the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Goble,
Second.
Commissioner Newby. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I'd just say this
Yes,
is a
sir.
great addition to that golf committee. That's a good group, but having a female on the board is good insight. And her sons both play golf, I think, and her husband Brandon is a principal at MCA, Madison Central, so.
Yep.
Oh, in that case, my vote's no.
You know Mr. Fritz, don't you?
Oh,
No. Did you say, do I want to know him? No. That's excellent, an excellent addition, certainly. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 25-113, order of the City of Richmond reappointing 2 members to the Human Rights Commission. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the term of Asad Jadoon and Anthony Phelps expired recently on the Richmond Human Rights Commission, and whereas these following citizens would like to continue serving and has made a commitment to attend all meetings. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following be reappointed to the Human Rights Commission for the 3-year term expiring April 23rd, 2028. Asad Jadoon, he's been a member since 2013. Anthony Phelps, a member since 2019. The Board of Commissioners would like to thank both of these members for their commitment and service to the city. Now therefore, hold on. This order shall be in full force and effect and reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 25-113. May we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Cole
Second.
and Commissioner Newby. Is there any discussion? I just want to mention one thing, talking with them last week.
Yes.
And I think they're on a good road. You know, they were inactive for so long, that board was, and I think the fact that there were a couple such as these two who had been members for several years, and even though it had become inactive, and they were there to help bring in the new members, and the new members are excited.
Yes.
That board, a couple of things. What has happened, and also here, and just so happens with these two members, Asad Jadoon was selected several months ago to serve as the chair of that commission. He has now requested, because of his work with Madison Home and other social activities in town, that he be allowed to step down. So he and Brother Anthony Phelps, who was assistant chair,
Yeah.
vice chair, they have reversed roles in the work of that commission. So it shall continue, but, and as I say, I think they're on now a really good road. They've got some excellent and excited members who want to do some things, and even proactively, so I'm really happy. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 25-114, an order of the City of Richmond accepting a bid for 6 new vehicles. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the City of Richmond has advertised and accepted bids for the purchase of new vehicles, and whereas one bid was submitted and received, now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the purchase of the 6 Chevy Tahoe 2025s is awarded to Bachman Chevrolet of Louisville, with the attached bids and pricing outlined attached to this order. The vehicle purchases were approved through the Budget Ordinance 25-18. This order shall take effect upon reading and passage by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 25-114. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Brewer,
Second.
Commissioner Newby. Is there any discussion?
Are these going to the police department?
Yeah, there's 5 of these were budgeted for. 5 are going to the police department and 1 to the fire department.
Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't say on there, I was just
Yeah.
wanting to be clear. Okay.
And are all familiar with why we're doing it this way with Bachman? Because of the state contract, the state,
Right.
that's why. We would love,
To be able to do it locally, yes.
Yeah,
read my mind well.
Yes.
yeah.
But it's a state contract. Further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 25-115, order of the Board of Commissioners approving and authorizing the City of Richmond, Kentucky to absorb the City of Richmond portion of the 2025 Madison County 911 fee. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas by agreements entered in 2007 and 2010 and amended in 2020, the City of Berea, the City of Richmond, Madison County Physical Court, Madison County EMS, Kentucky State Police, the Madison County Sheriff, the Madison County Coroner, determined to establish and fund a joint E911 emergency management agency. And whereas the CSEP funding mechanism, which has paid for a substantial amount of the 911 infrastructure and the operation of the emergency management facilities in Madison County, has ended, and the parties agreed to transition to local funding for the joint 911 and emergency management services, including E911. And whereas the parties created a 2024 post-CSEP task force to make recommendations for the transition from federal funding to local funding for the joint 911 and emergency management services. And whereas the 2024 Post-CSEP Task Force issued its final recommendation report at a joint governmental meeting held on March 21st, 2024, which provided a funding mechanism for the continuation of the 911 and emergency services management for the Madison County. And whereas the City of Richmond adopted on April 9th, 2024, a Resolution 24-03 in agreement with the recommendation funding structure as presented by the task force. And whereas by ordinance 2024-07, the Madison County Fiscal Court adopted an alternative fee structure which resulted in an undue burden to the City of Richmond residents. And whereas the City Commission for the City of Richmond, Kentucky has determined that it is in the public interest to absorb this one-time fee on this year's tax roll not to exceed $2,388,000, which excludes on other governmental agencies such as Madison County Public Schools and Eastern Kentucky University. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond as follows. Section 1. The City Commission for the City of Richmond, Kentucky hereby approve the following emergency services for the Madison County, Kentucky as follows. The Madison County 911 Department of the Madison County Government is hereby directed to remove the Berea, Richmond, Madison County 911 fee on the county's 2025 property tax bills pursuant to KRS 67.083 and KRS 65.760. B, the city manager and the director of finance is hereby directed to conduct an independent research for other funding models to effectively support and implement upon final approval by the Board of Commissioners in next year's City of Richmond jurisdiction. C, the finance director is hereby directed to obligate a one-time payment to the Madison County 911 Department not to exceed the $2,388,000, which is estimated revenue on the City of Richmond jurisdiction, excluding other governmental agencies such as Madison County Public Schools and Eastern Kentucky University. This order shall be in full force effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 25-115. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
I move.
Commissioner Newby
Second.
and Commissioner Brewer. Is there discussion?
Well, yeah, before there's any discussion, I want to address a statement that's pretty much, I find disheartening, and actually it's pretty much chapped me. It's by a member of the fiscal court stating that we don't have any leadership up here. And what we've done, we've looked at this, we've studied it, and there's a lot of problems with it. There's things that are wrong, and the manner that it was put out. So what we're doing as a city commission, we're going to pit the bill for our citizens of Richmond for this year, put our heads together immediately, and try to figure out for the future. And if it's something in the future, everybody will know, have a heads up, whatever we decide to do. And you know, folks, if that's not leadership, I don't know what the hell is. And I want to challenge the other two entities out there to step up and be leaders and do the same thing.
I do have,
Thank you,
thank you. I've got a question. When we read this, or this presented, it said Berea, Richmond. So is Berea looking at doing something similar to this, or are they staying with this fee that was put on them?
At this time, I believe the county and Berea is going to stick with the fee. I don't know if they'll change their minds on this, but what this order does is, and I had a discussion with the county a week and a half ago, and they assured me it was no problem to take off the City of Richmond fee from their county tax roll. It was just a matter of coding it off. So if this passes tonight, I'll be in contact with them tomorrow morning, asking them to make sure when their tax bills go out.
Well, if this passes, city manager, if this passes, we should jump on this right now and decide what we're gonna do in the future, working towards fixing this
I think
before
that's
it goes
a
any
serious yes
further.
of what he said,
What I
yes.
can tell you is that we formed a working group and we met today, and that includes Sharon Kane, Lisa Cassidy, myself, and a EKU business intern. And so we're starting the process, and we'll go down the road of looking at some different models, possibly a flat rate. We may back into using what the county is. We may look at an option of doing our own 911. I don't know at this time, but we're going to look at the cost of different models and run the numbers. And obviously, this money, this amount isn't sustainable every year for us to pay for 911. So we're going to look at some different models, and we'll have stuff ready for you. Give us 90, 120 days, and we'll come back in a work session and give you all some options.
Sounds good.
I had a few
Yes.
comments I wanted to share, and I want to try to use my words correctly, so bear with me. I know that the advisory group that was in place for a year and a half did a lot of work. You know, the city of Richmond had 2 slots on there, our city manager and our chief of police, and so I'm not trying to minimize any of the work that you all did. This is a hard, difficult topic. Anytime you're talking about a new fee or a new tax, whatever you want to call it, it's money coming out of people's personal budget or their business budget. So it's a tough topic. I just have a few things that I want us to consider as we go forward. I've been concerned from day one about the churches and the nonprofits, and I've talked about that so much that people are probably tired of hearing it. I realize that. But churches and nonprofits are classified by the federal government and the state government as tax exempt. They don't pay taxes, and I know you can make the argument that this is a fee or that this is structured different, but it's going on the tax bills. And so I would like us to look very carefully and see if there's a way that we could acknowledge that nonprofit status that the federal government and the state government have in place for the nonprofits here in the city of Richmond and the churches here in the city of Richmond, which they don't typically pay taxes. That's why they're called, nonprofit tax exempt. They don't typically pay those taxes. And so most of those entities didn't have money encumbered in their budget because they don't usually pay taxes. So that's the first thing I would just like us to consider. As we go forward and you look at this order and the way that it's written up, I don't think that 1 year is enough to figure this out. I think that's really hard. We've struggled with this, I guess, as a community for, you all know better than me, 20 years, I don't know. You probably know the exact number. And even our advisory board that we put together, the interagency or the intergovernment advisory board, I think has struggled with this. We all have struggled with this. So to say that we're expecting our city manager and our director of finance, we're directing you, I don't like that language either, but anyway, to come back to us in 12 months with a plan, I think is near to impossible. If we were going to do that, you would have to start on it yesterday to have a plan ready to roll out and implement, because it doesn't say just to suggest something, it's ready to have it ready to implement. So I think rather than 1 year, we're talking 2 years here. 2 years would give us time to at least kind of do more talking, or we could say up to 2 years. But I just don't feel like 12 months is sufficient to deal with some of these struggles that we are. And my final comment is, as we think about taxing the citizens and that money coming into the city of Richmond from individuals, businesses, that kind of thing, I mean, that's, we do serious work here in government. I just would like for our city attorney to make sure that we're not violating any kind of, state, religion, state. There's a fine line, I believe, in terms of bringing in taxpayers' dollars, whether it's from a business or a private citizen, and then paying the bill for churches and nonprofits. Now, believe me, I want us to. I want to do away with that fee for churches altogether. But we have to be aware that there's a fine line between using, and this isn't a special designated fund. This is, as I understand it, regular taxpayer money that would come into the city, and that we would use to pay this. And frankly, we need to. I mean, we've got to do something to help figure this out. But we just have to be real careful with that balance of church and state. I know this isn't state, it's city, but to make sure that we're not going into a gray area as we do that. But hopefully, we can just get churches tax exempt as they are and nonprofits tax exempt as they are. We received an email, all of the elected officials, I think from all the governments, received an email from one of the pastors here in town. I can't think of his name. He said it much better than I ever could. So I just encourage everyone up here to read that email and to help understand why churches receive that classification as a nonprofit entity and they don't pay taxes.
Well, I think there was never any intent on my part, and I think I talked to Commissioner Newby about this before, that churches would be forced to pay this tax, that we were not going to allow that to occur with us. And I mean, I know you feel the same way, I know you do, and
I
we
feel
talked
like-
about
I've
this.
said that all along.
It just doesn't make any,
Yeah. Commissioner Cole, to your question about, you and I spoke earlier today about paying this first year for churches and nonprofits. I did check into that, got legal opinion that it was okay for us to do it. It would be no different than us offering the charitable contributions that we do to non.
well, why do we
not-
have to
non-
pay? I mean, why, let me do this, let me say this correctly. Why would churches have to feel like they need to pay this tax when they're a nonprofit exempt, and even the nonprofits?
What we're saying here is in this first year, because they're already on the tax roll, is the city would absorb that cost for everything within the city, which would include all nonprofits and church. Going forward beyond that, we would exempt them from it. So they're still not gonna pay in this first year because the city's footing the bill for everybody.
Yeah.
But looking forward, we wanna make sure we exempt them from paying.
Which would be a lot easier if we could set the precedent from day one that churches are
Aren't-
nonprofit
they are
and
out
they're
of-
tax
Well,
exempt.
that's what we're gonna start doing now. I mean,
We're out of it.
That's-
I understand your points, but how do you know it's gonna take 2 years? I mean, we can, maybe we, we can, there's no timeline. We can figure this out.
I was looking
I
at
just
the
want
language
churches is
here,
what I worry
and
about.
I think it will allow us, we can do it again, right? I mean.
Yeah, we
I-
can.
I was looking to see whether we were restricted
The
by our
problem-
own language from doing it.
The problem in the first year for us, we can't just exempt the churches and nonprofits because they're already part of the budget formula for what that final number is.
Is that?
So
is that
our
the-
portion of the total budget is 56%. And that's the 2,388,000, okay? And that does include what the churches were gonna pay and nonprofits were gonna pay. They're not gonna pay it in this first year
Right.
because we're paying it, and that is legal.
And then moving forward, we'll figure it
they'll
out.
be exempt.
Right.
Moving forward, if you all decide, we would exempt them from the future.
Rob, let me tell you, let me say something, and Chief, if I'm not getting this right, please correct me, but if we remember the reason that there is going to be a 911 fee, let me speak with the other hat. I know there've been times that at my church we've had to call for assistance. For that reason, I don't see it, and I agree with you, we don't pay a tax. So making us a part as churches and nonprofits of what is going to be paid if the order passes by the city for 911 service, I'm comfortable with, because we call for service.
Well, and
That's what this is for, and maintain that 911, and we've had to.
And what we kicked around today with the flat rate is, you look at the different zoning classifications, and in the first year, we would try to, with each zoning classification, have a flat rate. Maybe it is for nonprofits and churches, a flat rate of $50 per. I don't know, I'm just throwing that number out. But we'll look at that and present it to you all, and
So
then
I
you all
agree
can
with you,
decide how
but I
you
Well,
want
wouldn't
to.
didn't you present that
Something like
to
that.
the governments before, a flat rate of like whatever it was? I mean, did
The
we?
initial presentation had to do with doors and flat rates, that's correct.
It would have been a lot more for doors.
Yeah.
for most
I don't
people.
see how it can be much more than what it is now with these people, but, I mean, if you go back to a flat rate, I mean, everybody pays the same, then you could talk about churches and nonprofits then.
Well, like, for instance, my bill
Right.
would be 40, I think mine's $46. It would be $75 if we did the flat rate that we were talking about to
That was
begin with.
Originally the first, I
every
think,
door.
Yeah, that's
approach.
correct.
That's
We all
correct.
met together.
But we don't know how that got changed.
I'm going to let me,
Do you, Mayor?
I just want to say this. The three governments met. Chief, you come arrest me now if I speak out of turn. The three governments met, and in that meeting, Commissioner Goble, that's where we discussed that 75,
Right.
per door, and that was, you take a specific case and you think, ooh. We did not have another three-government meeting that I'm aware of. Mr. Chairman of that advisory board, there was not another three-government meeting, is that correct? All right. So all I know is, by the time we got back here and were forced to deal with this matter, it was not what we agreed to. That's all I can say. I don't know where it fell apart, but it was not what we agreed to by the three governments. Now, that's enough.
Well, I agree
wanna
with
escalate.
Commissioner Newby that we can get started on this and get this going.
Yes, indeed.
I
And
think
we
the
can
goal,
correct this.
the goal in the first year would be to come up with a flat rate that is much easier to digest for the public, that offsets our cost.
Yes.
And we may not get to the 2,388,000. Now, that 2,388,000 is not to exceed amount, so it could come in less than that.
But you could shorten the number, the money, I mean, with the flat
Well,
rate.
we'll have to run the numbers and
Yeah.
see, yeah, but we'll look at different ways.
Now, the other thing is, and I think perhaps we'll all agree that we can take another look at it. Concerned about whether or not 2 years is enough, but we're not boxing, that's why I kept looking at the language here. We're not boxing ourselves in to where we cannot go back and I see a whole lot of data collection here
Yeah, there
necessary.
is. There's a
I
ton.
can see that we may want to go back and this order will pass probably, but then if we need to do something else, we can do something else. I would hope one thing, and that is that the citizens of Richmond will appreciate what this commission is considering doing, because we know timing, this is 7th month of the year. And we know that for some people and for some of the institutions that you mentioned, churches, et cetera, made their budgets a year ago. This is probably almost impossible considering how much some would be billed for that fee. So I appreciate, fellow commissioners, I appreciate.
Well,
that
and
you
let's
even
say
consider
too,
this.
Mayor, that we are very blessed
Yes.
to have the money to be able to do this, and not all governments are able to do that. Like, not everybody has that kind of financial backing,
Yes, ma'am.
or, support.
Yeah, we are, and I asked one day, what was the meaning of rainy day?
Well, I want to address that as well, if I may.
Yes, sir. then
Sharon
we'll
and I
move along.
we took a hard look at where this funding will come from. Initially, we were going to pull it from the rainy day fund, but looking at our general fund and our receipts, we'll pull it from the general fund. So it won't come from our rainy day
Hey.
fund, and we'll be okay with doing that.
With our bonding and all that, it'll be okay?
Fine.
Super.
Yeah.
All right.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Thank you for that
I
update.
meant to clarify that earlier and forgot.
All right, let's move along then. There's no further discussion. This is an order. We will vote at this meeting. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes. Thanks to each of you for that, and I know the citizens will be grateful.
Well, I apologize for my
No, you don't.
aggressive
You don't know.
outburst, but, I don't, disrespectful comments, that
Yeah.
was unnecessary. And you know who you are.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. And you may
I agree
notice-
with you, by the way.
You may notice that I've not said anything.
You don't have to.
All right. Anyone in the audience come tonight for public comments? All All right, please come to the podium. State your name, please, for the clerk's record.
This is my first time at one of the meetings, so.
Picked a good one.
You've done fine so far.
My name's James Hyatt.
Last name, please.
Hyatt?
Hyatt.
Yeah, it's Hiatt. I'm one of the poor ones, not the rich ones, the hotels. So, most of you might know me from the post office down there. Obviously, I'm wearing the uniform. I did Mayor Blythe's, granddaughter's passport. I touched many people's lives. Anyway, I'm not from here. I mean, I live here now. I'm from Southeast Kentucky. I moved here in 2017, so I don't have too much of a say in the community, but I still feel like I interact with a lot of people day to day. And one of the things is the 911 bill. I appreciate all the stuff that you guys said today. I see that you're taking action and that you're going to change things and try to look at it and whatnot. I'm just going to say what some of the concerns people tell me at the post office are. So one of the things is that they're being taxed too much compared to what their dwelling is. Some of their garages don't have drywall, or their basements aren't livable spaces and whatnot. And that was one of the things. I don't know if that's something that's came up with you guys, but that's one of the things that's concerned. Some people are getting taxed almost I don't know, 2 or 3 times what they should be because of that. And I think that should be addressed and looked at. Another thing, the church stuff, I never really thought about it, but since you brought it up, I'm going to bring up what I think about the church tax and whatnot, as a fee or a tax, whatever you want to call it. I understand the federal tax, they're not taxed, they're a religious organization and whatnot. I get that. That's fine. I might not agree fully with it, but I get it too. But I feel like I was raised in the church. I still go to church with my wife sometimes, even though I'm not super religious. I'll still go. I understand the community needs churches, and I understand their importance to it. But I feel like when I'm there and they're talking about money, and they're able to give money to these missionaries in countries that we'll never meet, people that we'll never know, I feel like if they have the money to be able to do that and spread their word out to other countries, they should give back to the community. And like Mayor Blythe said, these people, they'll call on the emergency services. They're going to need them. Someone has a heart attack in the church, you're not going to be like, well, I mean, we didn't pay the tax bill, so I mean, I guess we'll have to take them. No, you're going to call the ambulance service. So I feel like they should have to pay, call it a fee or a tax, I don't know, but it's they should have to pay something. That's just what I think, anyway. I don't think I really have anything else. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for stepping up and being city council. I appreciate everything you guys do, whether it's bad or good. Someone's got to do it, So,
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience? Public comments? All right. Thank you, Mr. Hyatt. Mr. City Manager, please.
I just have 3 things this evening. The first item is our paving list for this fall. We're finalizing it, so I'd like to give you all 2 weeks if you want to add any roads that need to be paved. I'd like to get those on the list. We'll put that out to bid in August and then do the work in late September, October. The Kentucky Open Golf Tournament's going on at Gibson Bay. It started today. I heard there was a large crowd out there. I'm going to try to get out tomorrow and see some of the play. And then the third thing is our auditors have started in today with auditing our FY '25 budget, which they'll have a report to you all by November sometime. So that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Brewer?
I don't have anything tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Goble?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Commissioner Cole?
I just wanted to ask, are we still on target for those sidewalks going to the food pantry?
Yeah, Josh you've called 811, right? And next. Yeah.
Oh. Cool. Cool, thank you.
Is that on East Main? You mean that?
Yes, going down East Main towards the
They'll
food
go
pantry.
across one house's, so if you're going down East Main towards out of town, on the right, where the cemetery is, Maple Grove Cemetery, we'll extend that sidewalk through one house's property in front of the bushes. And then in front of the cemetery, there'll be a sidewalk, but now it'll end at the end of the cemetery because you got two parking lots between that and God's Outreach.
Yeah.
That's about the best we can do with that area. Throw it at me, Mayor, I see it in your face.
Well, how, are there others, other areas that are going to be considered? One of the things that has bothered me for the past, I think I even mentioned it to us, that maybe someday soon we can do an actual workshop session on it. We've got to talk about the walkability of this whole town.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we continue to grow. There was a time when the primary walking concern was when we opened up water park and things like that, Lake Reba, and how many kids would want to ride their bicycles out Irvin Road. And we talked about walkability and rideability then. But we need to take a look at the whole, because I'm thinking that many of the people who go to the pantry are driving. Car is nicer than mine, too, incidentally, but that's not either. Stop, Robert, stop. The voices in my head are speaking. But seriously, if you go by there, I mean, there's a tremendous automobile presence. So I thank you. I mean that seriously, Tammy.
I can tell you, we have I think it's 5-section area where we've rated sidewalks, and we're working on them as fast as we can. So if there's something that your constituents are asking you for a priority, let us know and we'll get to it. We've looked at the walkability to Lake Reba. The problem with that is the state easement on the highway. You
Yes,
can't-
sir.
And then it drops right off.
Yes.
Our chair of the Planning and Zoning Board constantly stays after me about East Irvin Street behind Southern States, and he's right. There's a lot.
That's where I was
of-
thinking,
Yeah, a
yes.
lot of foot traffic there, but
Yeah.
it's just no way to put a
All those
sidewalk in there.
apartments and houses in
Yeah,
that
we're gonna
area
put some signs up, which was a good recommendation from him.
from Lake Street out.
That's
I mean,
right.
You've got people that have to step in the ditch and so on, because they're.
But that's a
nothing-
problem, you have a storm water drainage area there, and then you've got the back of property, so there's really nowhere to go. But we'll put some signs up, flashing pedestrian signs.
Yeah, no, part of the reason for that, and I'm through, when you get as old as Eugene Estel, planning and zoning, see, he knows. He knows, yeah, come on. Yeah, but understand, that was a country road. It's not like anybody's done anything wrong.
Yeah.
That was in the country. When I was a child, the city ended at Lake Street. So that's a country road. That's the old Irvin Road. What is wrong with me?
Keep going, keep going.
But so Josh is right. We're trying, but but the catch up is just phenomenal. So we're trying. And thank you, Josh, and your crews work well. But I don't know, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a
That's
time,
it.
right?
That's it,
So-
that's
so
it.
we're- Thank you for what you're doing in your crew, and I can see why you need someone to service.
And like the paving list, if you have one that's a priority, let us know, and
Yes,
Josh will
indeed.
knock it
And
out. Yeah.
I'll do that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
No, I
that's
ain't sorry. I'm like Jim Newby. No, I ain't sorry. I ain't apologizing. Okay, where were we?
I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you for what you have contributed tonight.
I think Eugene has some.
What is it? Yeah, go ahead, because there are some things I'm sure that are coming across their desk.
Because it's been more than one, maybe 2 times, people's actually falling in the ditch.
Yes,
And cars, I mean, and they're trying to get over, but they're actually
you're on.
falling in the ditch when they're trying to get up through it. You've got kids going out to the park, and for those apartment buildings, that Marathon's the only store that they got where they go with signs up, with some people actually following the ditch line, trying to get.
I think those flashing pedestrian signs you mentioned, maybe we could do some of those. I'll get with
Both
Josh.
sides, one on this side,
Yeah.
come over here when they come up here.
I'll get with Josh.
And those were county roads and state highways, and so it's a matter of working through all of that, I guess, the legalities of some of that, but working through that, and we're trying. We're about done here. Just one, let's see, tonight, Tasty Tuesdays?
Yes,
Super.
yep.
And
We
we'll
have
be
time to
out.
go tonight.
We'll have time to go.
Yeah.
This morning, I spent some time with Madison County Schools as they're continuing to work on some things with some of their students. But I pointed out one thing, as the third grader said, how it looks from where you sit. And I said, one of the things that I am watching is what's coming down out of Washington, D.C., what's coming up out of Frankfurt, and how those things, when you start talking about the students, how those things might impact their families and hence the students in the classroom. So when you talk about such things as Medicaid and education programs that will no longer be funded and all of those things, they're gonna manifest themselves in, I pray to God, not behavior, but behavior probably in students in our classroom. So we've really got to keep our eyes and ears on all that's coming down so that we can request the very best for our kids. And then today I spent the afternoon in Lexington for the investiture of 5th Appellate District Judge Will Moynihan, who is taking the position that Justice Pamela Goodwine, who won her race for the Supreme Court, he's taking her place. And it was an awesome experience. Governor was there, and he gave remarks. The Chief Justice, Supreme Court, State, Chief Justice of the Appellate Court, State, they were all there, and then his wonderful family. So that's where I've been today, and so that's probably what's got me so high there.
Maybe so.
But it was such a great opportunity and a great time, and it gives us hope. Any further discussion, any matters? All hearts and minds clear?
I'm not sure.
Anything else, Madam Clerk, come to your office for us to consider tonight?
No, sir.
All righty. I think for the record, we need to note that my candy dish looked a little low when I got back today. Does that mean the attorney has been in my candy?
No,
Then write it down.
wasn't me.
I got it for him anyway. We'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion second, pick ticket choice, Lisa.
All in
All in
favor?
favor, aye. Thank you all so much. It's been a great
Lisa,
day,
I was
folks.
reading in there.
It's really been a great day.